What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? I know everyone having a legendary day. Woo! 4 in a row, baby. Gotta love that. Of course, we got Jason waiting in the green room. We're gonna be talking about this Niner dub and obviously our plans for next week because we'll be together. Going live Friday, Sunday. Shit, we might go live on Saturday for the city. Anyway, but before we do all that, of course, we got to remind you to stay tuned to the end of the show for your special 10% off coupon code for season 2 for the Faithful by the Faithful apparel, exclusively available at ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop. Like your keep calm and go Niners shirt. Save 10% by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link and help out Niner Faithful Radio. Link is in the description of this video or podcast. Go ahead and go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit ninerfaithfulradio.com/subscribe. Catch Jason and I and Jamie live for NFR Weekly News Wrap this Friday at 7 p.m. here on the West Coast. And check out our game day Week 13 shows, pregame coming at you at noon. Halftime, Jason and I will be going live from Levi's. And of course, we have 9 p.m. here on the West Coast. That might be that's TBD because depending on what we decide to do after the game. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking. Oh.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
What's cracking, Jason? How you doing, bruh?
What is up, man? It is finally the week I get to come down and hang with you for the weekend.
Hey, no, I'm really excited. It was dope. It was honestly really. This is probably about to be some of the two biggest events of the year for me. Obviously, just came back from the cruise and everything, and got bit by a dog and got to see La Bufadora. Bought some. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna announce this on the show. Give me 1 second.
As you can tell, he's a little excited.
Obviously. Oh, wait. So your boy got the Niner cut with my name on it. Yes, sir. And also, this right here. Yeah, this is straight Super Bowl shots, bro. I'm killing this bottle. This is straight like backwood from Mexico, grown on a farm, tequila. This shit's like water, bro. I'm telling you, it's primo. And your boy got a couple Cuban cigars. So anyway, and then obviously going to the Niner game, which this will be my first regular season game of the year. Going to. So obviously excited
That's
for that.
a lot.
Well, okay, Denver.
So yeah, you went to Denver, man.
First one at Levi's. the first one at Levi's. So I obviously got to go to my first Niner road game. So
yeah, this is the first time I've had a chance to go to Levi's. So the entire time I've just never had an opportunity to make it out there till now. Obviously, I went to Candlestick a few times, but so yeah, I can't wait for this weekend.
It's gonna be dope, bro. I can't wait to show you the museum. The museum's sick. We went and saw it at Dwight Clark Day, and they added some dope stuff and everything like that. And the murals, we're gonna obviously when we go downtown, we'll take you to the famous Faithful mural. It's literally right down the street from the Shark Tank. right, not too far from the we could go to Law Vicks. There's 2 Law Vicks, but anyway, it's actually more than 2. But anyway, so I started off the pre-show meeting with a question, and I'm going to start off the show with the same question: 2022 Niner defense or 2019 Niner defense at this point in the season, which, let's remind you, this is week 12. So let me make sure I'm right on this. 2019 49ers. That's one. Okay, let me see.
I still think the interior line was better in 2019.
3, 4,
but the overall line, I think, is better this year.
So this is coming off that 37-8 win against the Whackers. But we lose the next game. We lose 2 out of the last 5 to end the season. So the interior line's better because you're not going to beat Defoe and Eric Armstead. Which, by the way, we'll go ahead and start off the show with this clip. This is actually some pretty exciting news. Okay, well, first we'll start with injuries.
From the game. Elijah had the MCL sprained. Wasn't the news we're looking for. He'll be out longer than that, most likely 6 to 8 weeks. McCaffrey has some knee irritation. We'll manage him throughout the week. Spencer Burford had an ankle sprain. Hopefully we'll get him back later in the week.
And that was it. So obviously, luckily, Jimmy's not on the report because you and I, we were talking. Man. The whole line played like shit.
And I know people don't like Jimmy and they want to be. Can we at least give the man some props for being tough as shit? I mean, he took some fucking shots. I mean, he took one. There was the one where he took the helmet to helmet where they probably should have thrown roughing the penalty or roughing the passer, which any other quarterback gets it. Jimmy gets shafted when he gets roughing the passer calls. And then there was the other one.
Clip Kyle on for Friday of him talking about it.
And then there was the other one where he went down, and I think, Jimmy went for his knee, and for an instant, I think everybody got really worried by the look on his face. I don't necessarily think he actually injured it, but I think it was the oh shit, because had his foot been planted when he goes down, I think then something happens. But luckily he was in the air, so he was able to move a little bit. But I think it was more of a shock to him, like, oh shit, not this again. And so maybe he overreacted. I'm sure it hurt. Because it still hurts a little bit. But I think it might have been a little bit of an overreaction just because he was expecting it to be worse. But
I think that might have been the case too.
But he got up and he played the rest of the game without, he only limped for I was watching him, he only limped for the next series and he was good.
Yeah, I mean,
probably got a cortisone shot.
Tell me that toughness isn't an attribute that you want.
Yeah.
In your starting quarterback now. Please tell me that isn't. And ultimately, I'm going to pull this up right here. Let me see if I can get the play-by-play. I think I can get the play-by-play on this. Okay, ball possession chart right here. 6:18. Drive began at the Niners 11. We go on 11-play, 46-yard drive to drain the clock. Tell me that's not important.
That's big boy football and how you win a game.
When Shanahan himself said it, we basically imposed our will on them. And that's basically what happened.
I want to start off the game in the fourth quarter. You can see the Saints' confidence. You can just see it slowly starting to drip down and down and down as the game went on.
That and why I'm excited about that is because that's what it was like in 2019.
Yeah.
If we can have that type of run game, and the defense can peak, because this is what I told my number one takeaway from the game. Is that I was live in person in Denver when the D didn't get the job done. I'm not saying they didn't get the job done in the sense of they're the reason we lost the game. But you were talking about Fred Warner saying, we got 3 points, we're going to win this game.
Yep.
That mentality. And the fact is that on a day where the offense, we'll get to the offense later, the offense had issues. They just didn't allow any points. And sometimes that's what you got to do. I mean, let's not forget the 9-0 game in Washington in 2019. I mean, that's just what it's got to be. So if we can run the football like we could in 2019 with definitely a more potent offense, I think we could, on paper, I think we could say the 2022 Niners are a more potent offense than the 2019 Niners.
You're only seeing it really one game so far, though.
Yeah. But would you take Debo, Brandon Ayuk, and a more non-rookie Debo at that? You know, a Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, which, mind you, okay, a few years older, and Juwan Jennings over Debo, a rookie Debo,
Emmanuel Sanders, Kittle,
Emmanuel Sanders,
Kendrick Bourne,
Kittle, and KB.
When you think about it, the only thing that we've just replaced, we replaced Kendrick Bourne with Jennings because they're pretty much the same person.
Yeah,
play wise. It
basically
just comes down to: do you want that veteran savviness that Emmanuel Sanders had, or do you want the rising star that we definitely seem to be seeing more and more out of Ayuk every week?
Yeah,
I don't think you go wrong with either one.
And then because clearly we've upgraded, love Matt Breida and Raheem, but clearly which we'll get to his comments later, because you and I basically both agree on that. It's you got to take CMC over Breida or Raheem. That's not even a question, and that's what I'm talking about. It's okay. Maybe you might. For one
it's not as easy as you think.
Sanders. For one game, I might take Emmanuel Sanders. But for career, for if you could say we could trade for, if we could have, let's say Brandon Ayuk a couple of years older, and you know we had the opportunity to draft Brandon Ayuk or trade for Emmanuel Sanders, you would draft Brandon Ayuk. So that's why I'm saying the potential with CMC, what Brandon Ayuk is, what George Kittle can be, plus Debo, and Jimmy not coming off of ACL. Jimmy coming off of really an full opportunity to get healthy. This might be the best.
Jimmy said he's healthier now than he was in 2019.
Yeah. So, and I've always said, I've always defended Jimmy by saying this. I believe Jimmy Garoppolo can complete that pass to win us that Super Bowl. I think that's in his capabilities.
Well, I mean,
you know,
he can.
I don't know. For some reason, how much money do you think Jimmy costs Juice by not like hitting all those wheel routes that he's wide the fuck open and can walk in for touchdowns? Like, how many touchdowns does Juice get and yards and like money does Juice get robbed by Jimmy missing him?
Yeah. Well, he missed the same style of throw to CMC too. Sunday.
Yeah. Jimmy can't throw that throw, but
yeah, he was
so
wide open.
There's several.
What's up, Damien? How you doing, brother? Thanks for showing up.
What's up, Damien? How you doing, bro? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. So yeah, so I'm asking the question about the defense because this defense is peaking at the right time. This defense is getting healthier. Oh, by the way, we were going to play that clip. I'm a little all over y'all place. My bad, y'all. I'm still on vacation mode. Okay, this is why we signed cornerback Janarius
Jenkins. I'm hyped, but I like this pick. I love this signing.
I'm hyped for a practice squad, you know, probably vet minimum, you know, type of player for that type of talent.
Yeah.
To be available. Yeah. To me, it's a way less risk than Jason Verrett. And I was perfectly fine with signing Jason Verrett.
Yeah.
I feel this is less of a risk.
Plus, you get that veteran leadership. He can teach Lenore, teach Womack, teach Tom. Because Janoris Jenkins has been a pretty good quarterback or cornerback in this league at times. There's been times where he hasn't been, but he's got that veteran presence that we definitely seem to be needing back there to help out with Ward a little bit.
Started 13 games last year.
Yeah.
For the Titans.
I've always liked
he was a starting cornerback for a playoff team.
Yep.
So, didn't he locked down somebody? There was, I think he made a couple plays last year when we played them, right?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but like I said,
but I'm sure
overall in his career, I've liked his play style. He's a pretty aggressive corner.
Yeah. So, speaking of corner, how are you feeling about Demo? I'm proud of Demo.
I think he's getting better. Obviously,
I thought he got picked on a little bit this game.
Oh yeah. When you decide you want to go after Travarius or you want to go after Demo, you're definitely going to take go that side. And I think you're still going to get those younger players mistakes. You can't really call him a rookie anymore, but that's to be expected when you have a young player. But you can see he's definitely getting better.
And the thing I love about him is he's got that dog in him. He's going to come back. He's not going to let it affect him and not be aggressive. He's not going to be a killer, basically. And so nothing could be worse than Josh Norman last year as far as PIs.
Oh, yeah. That was just
basically
the worst thing of all time.
He was forcing a fumble he was basically forcing a fumble or getting a PI penalty. It was one of two things. Pretty much was.
And more likely,
Josh
it was
last year.
It was mostly the penalty.
Yeah. So
I hated that.
I loved Demo, and if you had to ask me, Demo and Ambry Thomas stock are both pretty cheap right now. I'm buying Demo stock. I'll buy a little bit of Ambry Thomas just to diversify.
We don't really
I'm not quite ready to give up on a 3rd round pick.
I'd rather give that time to Womack now at this point.
If he deserves it, which probably will. I'll put it to you this way. If he gives him though, he could receive it and score more points than the defense take over the game. It's 49 for life. Matt, I could not agree with you more.
That's every quarterback for the most part, but yeah. Like we had said earlier, Jimmy got his ass kicked yesterday or Sunday.
Yeah, no, he did. What were the throw totals? Let me see right here. Okay, cool. First half.
27 to 28 in the first half, 37 overall, I think is what it was.
Hold on, I'm trying to look at it right now. Is that Saints? I'm trying to find
here, while you look it up, let me show you this clip right here. It's about 50 seconds long from yesterday or from Sunday. Just watch this. Boom. Why is that not roughing the passer right there?
Why is that? Yep.
Any other quarterback.
That's basically the hit he took at the Super Bowl.
Pretty much, yeah. For the most part, that's exactly what happened in the Super Bowl. So you had that one. Let's see which one. I think the last one is the one that we all worried about. Like he felt that one coming. You can just see. I'm not sure if it shows it in this clip. The one where right. No, it's not this one. The one where he threw to Elijah on the sideline.
Is it this one?
Yeah, it's like, how did you even get that off? That's pretty. It's like, holy hell!
After going low on the quarterback.
Yep.
Anyway, so
here's the bad one.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I puckered a little bit when I saw that one.
Yeah, I was scared about that. So it's clearly the last couple bends. It's been Jimmy slinging in the first half, and then you won the ball in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand what the real issue is with how this team's been playing offensively. I think the Saints, Kyle Shanahan came out and said he believes the Saints are the best defense we played this year.
Well, I think he said they're the best in the NFL.
Well, statistically, they're not.
They're a tough defense,
statistically, they're not. Well, yeah, that's because they've been hurt most of the year. You know? And this is without Marcus Lattimore.
Yeah.
So real quick, I have a couple the post games and everything like notes from the post game. We held the Aints to 63 yards rushing on the day. We have now kept the opponent under 100 yards rushing in 8 of the team's 11 games. Jimmy 26 of 37 for 222 yards and a passing touchdown for a passing rating of 94 yards. Jimmy has not thrown an interception in 4 consecutive games as a starter, making it such the longest streak of his career. Juwan
Practically, he did throw.
Jennings matched basically he did, but matched a career high 6 receptions for 449 yards with 1 touchdown on the day. The 5-yard touchdown reception marks his first of his career, or first of the season, fifth of his career. We are going to go ahead and also name, if this thing will move up, Juwan Jennings, the Killacorn offensive MVP of the week. Congratulations, Juwan. Love me some Juwan.
And now we have the Jennings drive.
The Jennings drive.
See what? 3 big third down receptions and then the touchdown to get in. So
I'm looking it up right now.
So I don't understand why we don't go like wide more often. Just spread everybody out. If Juwan Jennings is your third wide receiver, how many other teams in the NFL are going to have someone else to cover him as good as he's been playing, especially on third down? Not to mention, you still got 2 people coming out of the backfield more than likely who are damn good pass catchers.
That's my question. That I think really that's the thing that is going to determine the season is that who has enough good players on defense to cover Debo, Brandon Ayuk, okay, and Juwan Jennings. So 3 caliber corners, right? Like legit corners. Plus linebackers and safeties enough to cover CMC and George Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
How many teams legitly have enough players on their defense to do that? A handful?
Maybe.
And then on top of that, have your offense score enough points against one of the NFL's best defenses. Probably the best defense in the NFL. Best scoring defense in the NFL, which ultimately is the thing that matters the most. Well, I believe
we can pull up that one thing.
That it says that the last time the Niners were number 1 in scoring scoring defense was in 1984, which consequently we beat the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. That's people who most Niner historians I talk to, and people who raised me in the ways of the faithful, would tell you that the 84 Niners are the best Niner team in team history. Definitely the best defense. Which I got to walk up. I got to walk up with the captain of that defense. I got to walk up with the captain of that defense for a couple blocks in San Francisco on my way to the Letters to 87 book launch. Probably one of the dopest moments of my life.
I mean, there it is right there. That's how damn good this defense has been.
There it is.
I mean, that's just insanely good right there.
That has to be Super Bowl. That's Super Bowl caliber.
You can't it's like, how do you almost to the point to where how do you not win when you're putting up this kind of, and think about this. That's first, and what most people say, well, what about the Kansas City game? That was 1/2 of football. 1/2.
1/2. Which people forget that game really didn't get out of hand until the third quarter.
Yeah, until the end of the third quarter. It was 14-13 and a half, I think.
Yeah. It was about midway, halfway through I think it was because Jimmy throws the pick. They go down, and that's when I think the game turned. Because that's when they were able to get multiple scores up.
Yeah.
We were going tit for tat for a while. Now, it might have been touchdowns for field goals and things like that, but we were
getting something out of
hand when we were giving them extra possessions. you can't give the Chiefs. You have to score on every possession.
And at the same time, limit the amount of part ones they get.
Okay, and then also Greenlaw recovered Kamara's fumble, making it the first fumble recovery of his career. He finished with 5 tackles, 1 pass defense, and a fumble recovery. And Mr. Dre, big play Dre, is our Bam Bam MVP, defensive MVP of the week. But this is the one that I want to get to the most. Okay. Okay. Kyle Shanahan is officially 500 as a head coach. First time in his career.
It's taken a while.
Congratulations. It's taken a while. There's been some lumps along the way. But you know what? Get the job done this season. Nobody can say Kyle Shanahan ain't a winning coach.
True. That has been the issue with him. Everybody, hey, he's not a winning coach, blah, blah, blah. Well, you don't have that anymore. Granted, it's just 500, but I mean,
my whole thing about it is
the rebuild took what, 3.5 years?
2 years. 17 and 18.
Oh, yeah.
So my whole thing about this is, okay, so let's take the bigger picture of the Shanahan era. 17 and 18, you can now 17, you just knew what was up, right? I think we could all say that. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, 0 and 9, whatever. Clearly, changed the franchise, trading Jimmy Garoppolo, right? There was optimism, and I legitimately thought if some things could break right, I thought the Niners could push for the playoffs, a wild card that year. If some things broke right.
I'd agree. I think most people, at the very least, expected to contend for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Jimmy gets hurt. Right. Okay. 2019, we all know it. Now, since 2019, name me a season that has ended disappointing in the fact that you weren't competing for a championship besides 2020, which 2020. 19, Super Bowl. 2021, NFC Championship game. Yeah, you could point to how that ended and all that, but I mean, you had a team that's in an NFC Championship game, and now you have a team that's peaking at the right time. Won 4 games in a row, and if I told you at the very least this team's playing in late January for a chance to go to the bowl, would you find that surprising?
Yeah, I mean, who would?
And so I don't understand how you could find that as disappointing as a coach. Now, I was hired on Kyle, and I called Kyle out a lot. I did. But he has proven to me over these last couple of weeks that whatever happens early in the season, I cannot deny what I'm seeing with my eyes. Now, is it perfect? No. Are there issues? Yes. But I can't get over that last drive. When how many times have we seen us go 3 and out, punt the ball, and the defense has to make another stop? How many times have we seen that, Jason?
All the time. I mean, and they're always gassed by the end.
So, are there better head coaches out there than Kyle Shanahan? Yeah, probably. Okay, cool. But to me, if you tell me, if Jed York came to me and said, TJ, I want to fire Kyle Shanahan, I'd be like, who the hell are you going to get?
There's very few people that would be considered an upgrade.
Very few. And I ultimately ask this when anybody in any profession gets fired. How fast would they find a job? Kyle Shanahan would find a head coaching job, I believe, very fast.
At the minimum, he'd be an OC somewhere instantly. Minimum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a lock. It's a lock to be OC somewhere.
Yeah. But more likely, he'd be a head coach. Someone would pick him up.
I've done Carolina, San Diego,
Indy.
the Colts.
No, I think San Diego's fine.
You said Indians and the Colts literally at the same time. Yeah, you don't think that they would say, hey, we've got Kyle Shanahan as head coach, Jeff Saturday as OC?
I think Kyle would be petty enough to go up to Seattle, just because. I think Kyle would be that kind of, because he would just love it so much. I could just see him like, yeah, give me all the smoke and going to Seattle.
Or Sean McVay retires going to the Yams.
Yeah,
Sean McVay retires going to the Yams.
Yep, I could see that as a Kyle. Yeah, he seems that kind of like, I'm doing it just to be a dick.
Mm-hmm. There was
take or go to Green Bay and work for LaFleur.
There was a famous I don't love the sport of soccer, but I love, the passion and the fandom of soccer a lot.
Hey man, we beat the Iranians today.
I love watching.
We're in the knockout stage.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we beat them. So we're in the knockout stage of the World Cup right now. I'm so surprised. I didn't think we'd have a chance of beating them.
I was getting ready for the show and doing other stuff, trying to find a job. But anyway, got 2 interviews. But anyway, so there was a player that played for Arsenal, or no, I think we played for Tottenham, and he went over to Arsenal, and he was like a captain of Tottenham. He was like brought up in their youth league, had grown up, in that side of London, and it was like the ultimate betrayal. That seems like something Kyle Shanahan would do.
Yeah. Sounds like reckless.
So anyway, so I could say that this is one of the best teams in football.
Yeah.
And I would say at least the NFC Championship, less than the NFC Championship game, is a disappointment. At this point, I'm saying go into division. Real quick, want to get up to this. Obviously, everybody knows the standings of the division. We are officially 1 game up on the Sheacocks. The Yams are done. They literally, it's what, 1 more win?
Yeah, and they can't.
2 more.
We'd have to win, lose out. They'd have to win out. I think is what have to basically happen.
2 more games, 2 more wins. We get to 9 wins, then officially we knock them out. Or a win with 1 more of their losses. We get to 8 wins, then officially we could tie. The Turtles are pretty much done. The one everybody cares about, the Sheacocks, are officially 1 game down. So to me, this is in your own destiny. We don't win the division, it's our fault.
Great. We've got the lead right now, and now we just got to finish it.
We got the lead with, at least there's no way. I feel that I shouldn't say no way, but literally the worst thing that could happen is going back and being 1 game down going into that week 15 game. Which with that game, you're tied. You officially have the tiebreaker now. Even at that point, I feel that it's a disappointment not to win the division.
Yeah.
This is where to me gets interesting. Is the NFC, Philadelphia 10-1. We pretty much said they would have to have an epic collapse, which doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Being up now 2 games on Tampa Bay with them playing them in 2 weeks, that now becomes a huge game. Do we catch Minnesota? That's my big question.
Let's see what Minnesota's schedule remaining is.
They're 9-2, so they're only 2 games behind of us.
Minnesota.
So they got to, let's just say 3 games, lose 3 games to be comfortable.
Okay, so they've got.
I'm trying to get into tiebreakers and shit.
So they've got the Jets this week, which the Jets is, now that they've made the switch over from Zach Wilson into Mike White, looks like a completely different offense, and all of a sudden they look good. The Lions are streaky. The Colts are
I can see the Lions pull that off.
Yeah,
I get that. That's a division game, brother, and they're a team that's going to fight.
The Vikings,
and we know
then they got the
heat on.
Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Giants. That could be a really good one for them. Then they got the Packers and then the Bears. So they end the season with 2 quote unquote easier games. But if I had to see 3, I would say the Jets, the Colts, and the Lions. Because right now, especially with
So I
depending
can
on
see
what's going
2.
on with, I
I
mean,
could see
if
2
they're going to
losses.
lose 3, I could see it would be those
Yeah.
3. I would say more than the others.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going on with the Packers now that Rodgers' finger is doing whatever.
So this because to me, it's I have a feeling that if any team is going to get upset this year or one and done, I have a feeling it's going to be Philadelphia.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting with that idea.
So the 2 seed to me says we host every game, every playoff game, and honestly, at this point, I don't see a team that comes into Levi's and scares me.
No, because even right now the Bucs don't look that good.
It's impossible, but in one game, would you want to trust Tom Brady's 45-year-old ass against this pass rush? Good luck. The Cry Girls,
their defense
fine,
is what's going to be just like us. It's going to come down to their defense.
Yeah. Which, like I said, they're one of the very few teams that when I said, hey, you got enough players, just strictly enough players on the field to cover our players.
Yeah.
They're one of the few teams that do. Legitly. But then I think New York's, a pretender, not a contender.
I don't know. You get to the late months, and you got Saquon Barkley running the way he does right now. I think they could actually make some noise. I really do.
Do you think, to me, do you think this is when we think the Seahawks regress to what we think they're going to be? Having lost to the Raiders. You got that game coming up in basically 3 weeks. They think it's done?
They've all, because apparently there's clips, and I haven't seen it, where Geno goes to the sideline, and he reverts back to old Geno from when he first entered the league, where he's just yelling at everybody, even though he was the one making the mistake. So, like I said, this is me talking to, the Seahawk fans up here, and I've had more than a couple tell me that, this is the Geno they've been expecting all year. So, but yeah, I've known a fun. Oh, we lost one game. Now we're jumping. I mean, they lost to the fucking Raiders. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, that to me, when my girl told me that, because I couldn't have, because she's like, babe, why don't we turn on the TV? I was like, nah, babe, I can't have both of those teams on my nah, that can't be on the TV, babe. Sorry, against my religion. But yeah, no, that's against my religion. But when she told me that they lost, I was all 3 teams lost the division. That to me, I almost shed tears just off the GP. That I was like, it's in our own hands. Go win the division. What have I been saying all year? You want to be contenders, then do what things that contenders do. Contenders take advantage of opportunities like this. The Seahawks were giving us some trouble. Hey, they were in the division lead for a little bit. Now are they regressing to the mean, which we think they are. We just needed them to slip once. And to me, this game and then the game in 15, we win those 2. That should pretty much lock the division.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is the one that Tampa Bay is the one that game could cause us some trouble.
Yeah, ideally,
but we win a couple more, and I think we can call it the division.
Yeah.
And
ideally, if we're going to lose a game, it's got to be this Miami game. If you were to tell me that, you got to pick one game to lose, and I know that it's an out of conference game. Do you want to lose? Would you be willing to try that with what that would do for morale in the building, losing to this team, to the Miami Dolphins? That's why I don't think. like numbers wise, yes, this is the one game you could lose to where it wouldn't affect as much as some of the other games. But I don't think for a confidence
That in the Raider game
thing, yeah. But I'm just saying, like more than anything else, I don't think we can lose this game if we want to keep this rolling.
Yeah, I mean, because you look, you got Tampa, the Seahawks, the Commanders, then the Faders, and then the Cardinals. That we'll chalk up Week 17 because, like I said, if we handle business the rest of the weeks, Week 17 doesn't matter. Or I'm sorry, Week 18, but 17th game doesn't matter. It's essentially a 16-game season for us at that point. So that to me, those are
just rest everybody.
So if you told me the must wins, it would be basically you break the streak this week, and then you go on the 3-game run, beating Tampa, the Seahawks, and the Commanders.
Yeah, and the Commanders are not joke right now, man.
No,
they are looking damn good.
That's a game. If you said, hey, look, you're gonna lose one of these conference games, and maybe your butthole gets a little tight, tighter than you want to. That's the one I'm worried about more than the Seahawks.
Yeah,
because that's the team. The Seahawks scare me because of the situation, because of it being Thursday night, coming off a game against Tampa Bay.
Yep.
That, let's be real, Tampa Bay. Yeah, there are 2 games that to me almost buries them, because that puts them 3 games. Regardless, you get the win, even 1 game. So even if we lost this week and they won and got to 6-6, we'd be 7-5. That game against them next week becomes huge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the game that I'm worried about. I think we'll be fine with Tampa Bay, because we'll see about their defense and the offense, and obviously what it's like missing Elijah. Because personally, just over looking back, I think Elijah, at least running the ball, has outplayed CMC running the ball.
Yeah, but that's kind of what we all thought, that if you go just by rushing, Elijah was definitely going to be the better weapon, because CMC stuff comes in the versatility that he provides, which, Elijah isn't the greatest, even though he worked on it with Lynn over the offseason. Pass catching out of the backfield is still the weakness from his game, where that's where McCaffrey excels at.
See, I think it was a true 1-2 roll. We're down. It's a 2-minute drive, and we got to go score a touchdown. You have a CMC in the game. You got to drain the clock. Like that situation, ideally, it would have not been J.P. Mason. It would have been Elijah Mitchell.
Even like it had it going down right now. I think if you just have to run out the clock, I'd go with Elijah over CMC.
Yeah. If you're trying to drain the clock, but I mean, going back to that final drive, I got it pulled up right here. That final drive, you got McCaffrey left tackle for 9, Jimmy up the middle for 3, McCaffrey up the middle for 2, right tackle McCaffrey for 3. They used their second timeout. Juwan Jennings for 6 yards. That got us a first down. That was on 3rd and 5. And then Mason up the middle for 9. Mason up the middle for 4. The Aints used their second timeout. And then Mason up the middle twice. Basically, ball game. So it was McCaffrey in there for a while.
Yeah.
But you could see that was very strictly we're trying to get the couple first downs necessary. When they wanted to drain out the clock, it was Jordan Mason that was brought in.
And we'd all been wanting to see what he would do, and he didn't play a whole lot, obviously, but man, when he was in there, he was looking damn effective.
Lombardi called him baby Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I've heard him called that before.
I could see that physicality. I'd like that, because if you could tell me we got a CMC who's the nightmare in the open field, but then we could have that physical back that you're not going to want to tackle, so we don't have to use Debo. Because if you could tell me Debo was clear by the NFC Championship game, Debo was done. You could tell he gave every little he was running on fumes. So if you tell me that Debo can not be used in the backfield like he was last year in the NFC Championship game,
imagine saving it for just a Super Bowl, or instead of
a
the whole
Super Bowl.
season. So instead of doing it the whole season, basically like we did last year, imagine just doing it just for the playoffs. Put in Super Debo.
Put in Super Debo and just shove it down people's throats.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you go to stop it, here comes CMC.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it's going to have to be this playoffs. And yeah, I think that's enough to get us a championship when you sprinkle in a little bit of Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk, and obviously what Debo could bring as a receiver.
Hey, and don't forget there's some guy, the little-known guy named George Kittle.
Yeah, some seems to be forgotten. Everybody seems to be down on him. Man's just,
pancaking. He's still the best tight end. I don't give a damn what anybody says about Darren Walker, Kelsey, and those guys. Those guys and Kyle Pitts, those guys are big wide receivers. I don't give a damn. They don't put their hand in there. They don't block.
Nope.
George Kittle's still the best
tight end. Yeah. George Kittle, to me, is the most valuable tight end to what he means to his team, because we're a football team who wants to ultimately run the football. We want to do what we did yesterday. And the way we do that, who's the best run blocker on our team? Who's the best run blocking tight end in the league? It's George Kittle.
Yeah.
So fine, if you want to be the Chiefs and everything, maybe you might take, Travis Kelce. But to be for what we want to be, and I listened to that George Kittle song by Travis Kelce on the way back from the city on Sunday. And to me, I've always stated on the show that I don't think George is going to finish his Niner career here. I think eventually he'll go to Nashville. That's just something that, trying to be the realist. But part of me, if I could speak to George, I would say be Joe Staley. Because Joe Staley clearly had an impact on George Kittle. He basically became emotional, started crying, in his tribute to him. Be Joe Staley, Joe Staley would have won his championship because he would have gotten traded to the Eagles the year they won the Super Bowl. But Joe decided to stay here. So that would be my thing, is that, George, I don't think you're going to be appreciated anywhere else, because we're willing to pay you what you're worth because we know what you are. And you're George Kittle, and you're Kittle down the middle, and we love you. You go to Kansas City and you have, a game with one catch for 12 yards. They're going to be disappointed in that.
Yeah.
Because see, when he stays here, he's just us retaining our hero. When he goes to Nashville, he's a big free agent signing. That comes with a lot of pressure.
True.
Established with this fan base, with this city, with this team, with this ownership. We know what George Kittle is. When you're the free agent signing, you're looking at as our big move of the season.
Yeah,
probably hyped up that things that are going to change things. And let's be real, pumped up as far as this is what's going to get us over the top. That comes with a lot more pressure that I don't think George Kittle's game lends to. That's not where his most value is. So
is his wife from Nashville?
I do not know. Let me look that up.
Because obviously I know they went to Iowa together.
Yeah.
While you look that up, I'm going to show something here on screen that I want desperately.
Okay, let me see.
What do you think of the hat?
Let me see. Wait, give me a second. Meet George Kittle's wife, Claire. Okay, let me see.
All right, so while you look that up, for anybody who doesn't know, Brian Robinson is the Commanders back who was shot, I want to say preseason, who just came back. And yesterday he wore the Commanders version of this hat. And he basically said, hey, this is my friend's design. If you want it, somebody, basically holler at me. I want a Shanahan this damn big.
Well, I gotta look. That is kind of hard.
Like I said, could you
Okay, so
if I can get a hat that damn big, I would wear that shit everywhere.
Okay, CLAIRE.
You still looking for it?
Is from. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Who's Miss Kittle?
He's from
Claire Kittle, net worth.
Iowa.
Okay.
She's from Iowa. What are you Googling,
there you
man?
Go.
All I do is George Kittle wife's hometown. I found it.
You know what? I didn't type in hometown. Like I was trying to make it more complicated, I guess. God, that was horrible.
Like, what are you doing?
Radio. So when we get off, stay on. There's actually something I want to tell you. Before. Something that could be possibly big. But anyway, all right. I think that we probably did enough. Final thoughts, Jason?
One final question I got for you. On that fourth down, on that drive where we went for it, on that fourth down play, why did we not sneak Jimmy up the middle? Why in the blue hell you have Jimmy with – even the people who hate Jimmy will agree that he's arguably the best sneaking for 1-2 yards in the NFL. Why are we trying to do some kind of RPO bullshit with it?
Like, maybe too much of a good thing.
That's Shanahan just overthinking it, man.
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
Like, I was screaming.
Look, I will admit,
like, fucking sneak it, or at least run it.
It has to be. And I'm not going to say Kyle. I know we plays Kyle a lot this game. I'm not going to say he had the world's greatest game plan. You know, but I think it was a very, hope and pray type of game.
That's a play call you make.
Let me ride my defense that's pitching a shutout. So let me just not give the Saints the game. Let me not turn it over 3 times. Let me not do a Denver. All right, bro. Stay on. I'm gonna go run through the ending, and then I got something to holler. All right, so thank y'all for tuning in. Before we get up out of here, of course, got to remind y'all this week's coupon code for 10% off of all 4 of the Faithful by the Faithful Season 2 apparel is Beat the Fins. That's FINS, not PHINS. Coupon excludes any on-sale items and expires next Tuesday at midnight. Save 10% by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link and help out Niner Faithful Radio. Link is in the description of this podcast or video. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. Catch Jason, Jamie, and I on NFR Weekly News Wrap this Friday at 7 p.m. And check out our game day shows. Pregame coming at you at noon. We'll be live at halftime at Levi's and then 9 p.m. here on the West Coast. I shall see everybody on Friday. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
All right, Jason wanted me to bring him back.
Hey, clearly. So for the weight loss channel, for you guys who don't know, I do for my weight loss stuff. So this week I make videos or I make food that I've been eating for weight loss. This week I am doing the turnover tuna casserole.
There you go. You know what? I gotta try some of that.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to say that. I completely forgot about that. I was like, But don't ask me to say that shit again. It's just hard as hell to say.
All right.
So I have
y'all.
everything shot. I'll put it together. It'll be up. Deuces.